From the Detroit Free Press, I'm Robin Chan with today's Voice Briefing. It's Tuesday, May 5th, 2026.
Hi, I'm Urban Lobo. I cover politics and state government for the Detroit Free Press. Gas prices are high. In fact, the AAA average of $4.86 for a gallon of regular unleaded on May 4th in Michigan is a full dollar more than it was a month before and about $1.75 than it was a year ago at the time. Fuel prices have skyrocketed nationally, and Michigan has felt some of the worst impacts. The Free Press talked to drivers across the state who are dealing with the added price at the pump. Some, like Leah Rivera in Grand Rapids, are skipping on trips to save gas. Others are blaming President Donald Trump for leading the U.S. into a war in Iran that's widely credited for the higher energy costs, like Detroit's Delano Calhoun. Trump is probably feeling a bit of a squeeze from the higher costs as well, although not in the way you think. A survey conducted by The Washington Post, ABC News, and Ipsos found the president's disapproval rating at 62%, the highest mark it's been in either of his 2 terms in Washington. Ahead of the midterm elections this fall, Democrats are likely to seize on the price of gas and make it a key issue as they look to gain control of either or both chambers of Congress.
This is J.C. Rindo at the Detroit Free Press. What was once a highly anticipated development for Midtown Detroit with the Target store and upscale apartments is now essentially dead. Known as City Club Apartments Midtown, the project was unveiled back in 2021 and was to be built at the corner of Mack and Woodward near the Whole Foods, but it never broke ground. The developer, Jonathan Holtzman, says the growth trajectory of Greater Downtown slowed considerably in the wake of the pandemic when suddenly there were fewer office workers around and some big downtown employers, like GM, lowered their downtown headcounts. Meanwhile, construction costs soared for all projects. In the end, the development was never able to get any financing.
Kalilia Davis was such a terrible judge that the Michigan State Supreme Court tried to make sure she could never serve again by imposing a 6-year ban on the former 36th District Court judge back in 2023. I'm ML Elric, on-guard government watchdog columnist at the Detroit Free Press, and I'll tell you how Davis didn't get the message. She keeps trying to run for judge, and this time, the Michigan Secretary of State stopped her in her tracks. I've been reporting on what a horrible judge Davis has been since 2020. Get all the details on her career and this latest mishap at the Detroit Free Press. Thanks for subscribing. With your support, we can stay on top of big, messy stories like this one.
I'm Dante Bedingfield for the Detroit Free Press. More than 6 decades after they were captured inside one of the city's most hallowed rooms, previously unreleased recordings by jazz piano great Oscar Peterson have emerged as Live at Baker's Keyboard Lounge, a new Verve Records release that places Detroit squarely at the center of jazz history once again. The album documents 5 sets recorded in August 1960 at Baker's Keyboard Lounge, the intimate club on Livernois that bills itself as the oldest continuously operating jazz club in the world. At the time, Detroit was a national jazz capital, and Baker's, just 99 seats, was where the music's biggest names came to stretch out in front of audiences who knew how to listen.
Find more from the Detroit Free Press on freep.com. That's FREEP.com. Thank you for listening, and you'll hear more from us tomorrow.